transit van worked wonderfully. It was just the right size for myself and three little dogs. Even in the pouring rain, when it would rain all day long, it was still big enough to be in there. I had the Dometic 18, CF18, right here by the front passenger seat. And I could use just a tiny bit more room in my refrigerator, but it was adequate. And I ran it with this Kodiak for most of the time. Once in a while, maybe twice, I had to put the backup Jackery up here. But for the most part, I would keep it plugged into the solar panel almost all day whenever I was sitting in one spot, and it worked. I transported the solar panel hooked here to the seat right behind the passenger seat. And as you can see, I've got the seat belts holding it here. And that was fine. And this seat worked really well for the dogs to sleep on. It has 3 seats. It was just right. I think I'd like to switch it out for the one that has 2 seats eventually, because that is just awkward getting around the corner here. Here, let me show you. Come around here. See, there's just not much room to get around by the sliding door and go into the back. But it was okay. It worked. The mat I have here that I would use for my shower, camp shower, also doubles as just a little barrier to keep the dogs from getting up into the front part. I didn't know if I would use the curtain rod, but actually, almost every night, except for nights that was really hot, I would put it up here and block off the front part of the car. And that would keep it just a little bit warmer. I got this little set of drawers here that I can hold all the junk that I used to have in plastic bags. And if I moved it out just a little bit, looky there, all the reflectix fits behind. Yay! The bed was good with the plastic shelving unit that I cut down to fit. I have a 4-inch mat, or a 4-inch futon and a 2-inch futon. And I believe for next summer, I'm going to get another 4-inch because it was adequate, but it sure wasn't as comfortable as my one at home. So I'm going to get a few more inches here of padding. The reason that I had it this size was when I had the Ford Transit Connect. This was perfect for it to be able to sit and not bump my head on the ceiling. But I could actually stand up in this one, and it made such a difference. Even on cold days, I could exercise in here. I could move around. I could adjust the doors and windows. See here how I put a little block of wood down here to keep this door open just a little bit to keep some ventilation coming in. The curtains that I put on the outside with magnets were absolutely perfect. They worked. The only thing I had to do was jump out of the car and take them off if it began to rain. And of course, up there in northern Arizona, when it starts to rain, there are a couple claps of thunder and bam, it's pouring. This shelving unit worked really well here. All the boxes, I had just about the right amount of things that I needed, with just small, slight adjustments. I think actually I had a little bit too much stuff. The microwave, I hardly used it. So I think I'm going to take that into the house, and I don't think I'm going to have to use that next year. Okay, I'm going to pull out my cereal. So I put my cereal in this box. I have it in little packets, and I'm going to eat it. The next couple weeks, I'll be finishing this up. It's a little bit dusty. Under here, had my tripod. I didn't use it very much. I got the cone for the dog, which I'm always glad to have when they need to have the cone on a little bit. I did use it one time. My solar shower worked well, did fine, along with the shower tent I have over on this side. That was perfect. My panels that go with the Pecron were also very good. The Pecron stayed charged. I bet you only one time it went down to 70. The rest of the time I had plenty of power for anything I needed to use. And that was a good thing. I did use my little vacuum cleaner a few times. It was definitely worth having along. Got in here, I've got a spray bottle of water, which is my absolute, I use it all the time for everything. I had baking soda in water. I didn't use very much, and a little bit of vinegar and water, just in case I needed to clean anything up. The Zero Breeze was good to have. I was always glad I had it as a backup. I think I used it 3 times. What I'd like to do for next year is get some kind of panel that would fit in this door crack here with a hole just about the right size for the vent that comes out of the Zero Breeze. So I could vent it out back here. I thought at first I would vent it to the front, and that would work. It did work, but if I have it up here in the cockpit area, I can vent it out the front window here. But that isn't where I need the heating or the cooling, because the Zero Breeze will do both. So I really needed it back in this area. But thankfully, I didn't have to use it very much. So it worked perfectly, and it's just always good to have things. And then if you need them. Okay. All the bedding was perfect. There was probably one night that I would have needed a little bit more of a sleeping bag, but a little thicker, but absolutely 3 months, it was perfect. The bowl turned out to be very useful and very handy for holding important things, for washing. It was great. So, all in all, I gotta say, 3 months in a Ford Transit, dry camping. Yay! It was wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me today. Now it's off to life at the Winter Garden. Adios. See you next time. Bye-bye. Mwah.